I was just gonna tell you guys thanks for your support and everything, the comments, everything. It's okay to leave stuff on my profile since it's done my profile, so just learning things in this. Just started YouTube, and your comments just helping me get better. So thanks, and just let me know how my new ones are going to. And the compliments are nice, and the insults are helping me learn. Except for the ones who are saying the word gay and stuff. That's not true. She's my sister. So, not gonna work out. And the blonde dude is my brother. Yeah. And then, yeah. Oh my gosh. I am about to pass out. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoy the next one that I've had him since 7th grade. I'm 8th now, so he's old. But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Hope you guys enjoy all the videos that I shall upload and for the rest of my life, I'm guessing. Hope you guys like them. Yeah, I like music. Guess what else? You just went, OMG. Guess what? I like triangles. So yeah, thanks, and there's a triangle on my nose. Sorry. Yeah. I'm eating the triangles. So yeah, a domino. I'm going. I just marked it all over my face. It's not cool. It's not cool to mark all over my face, especially when it's myself doing it. One second. Okay. So yeah, I'm about to upload a new video, so hope you guys like it. Peace.